Narrator. It was one of the most astonishing miracles ever recorded. A moment when scarcity was transformed into abundance. Narrator. A crowd of thousands gathered in a remote place, hungry and restless, yet with just 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. Jesus Christ fed them all. Narrator. This story, told in all 4 Gospels, is more than an account of physical hunger being satisfied. It is a profound lesson about faith, compassion, and the limitless power of God. Narrator. The miracle takes place near the Sea of Galilee. Jesus had just crossed to the far shore, and news of his teachings and healings had spread everywhere. Narrator. Crowds were desperate to see him, some out of faith, some out of curiosity, and others simply longing for hope in a harsh world. Narrator. By the time evening drew near, the crowd had swelled to more than 5,000 men, not counting women and children. Narrator. In truth, the gathering may have been closer to 15,000 to 20,000 people. Narrator. Imagine the scene. Families, travelers, farmers, the sick and the curious, all gathered on a grassy hillside, hanging on his every word. Narrator. As the day wore on, the people grew hungry. They had followed Jesus so eagerly that most had brought little or no food. Narrator. The disciples saw the growing problem. Narrator. In the Gospel of John, Philip worried aloud, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" Narrator. He quickly added that even 8 months' wages wouldn't buy enough bread for everyone to have even a bite. Narrator. To the disciples, the situation seemed hopeless. Narrator. But to Jesus, it was an opportunity, a moment to reveal God's power and compassion. Narrator. Evening was coming, and the need was real. Narrator. It was then that Andrew, another disciple, spoke up. Narrator. He had found a young boy who carried with him 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish. Narrator. Barley bread was the food of the poor, rough, simple, unimpressive, and the fish were likely dried or pickled, hardly enough to feed even a few people. Narrator. Andrew himself doubted, saying, "But how far will they go among so many?" Narrator. The disciples saw insufficiency. Narrator. Jesus saw possibility. Narrator. Jesus instructed the disciples, "Have the people sit down." Narrator. On the grassy hillside, the great crowd was organized into groups of hundreds and 50s. From above, it must have looked like a vast congregation, waiting in anticipation. Narrator. The boy's small meal was brought forward. Jesus took the loaves, looked up to heaven, and gave thanks. He blessed the food, not for its size, but for what God was about to do with it. Then came the moment that defied all human explanation. Jesus broke the bread and handed it to his disciples. They in turn gave it to the people. Again and again the bread and fish multiplied in their hands. Every group was served. Every family received food. What began as a boy's simple meal became a feast for thousands. The Gospel writers emphasize one extraordinary detail. All of them ate and were satisfied. Not just a taste, not just a symbolic bite, but full, complete satisfaction. The bread and fish satisfied the body for a day. When everyone had eaten their fill, Jesus told his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." The disciples went through the crowd and collected the leftovers and filled 12 baskets. 5 loaves and 2 fish had not only fed thousands, but produced more food than what they had started with. This was no accident. Each basket symbolized a disciple, a reminder that God's provision is not just enough. It is abundant, overflowing, and beyond imagination. More than enough, overflowing. In the hands of faith, little becomes much. The disciples had seen insufficiency. They acted in faith and obedience anyway. What began as a boy's offering moved through hands and became enough for all. Let nothing be wasted. This miracle pointed to something deeper than a single generous meal. It revealed God's heart for provision and compassion. The outward act was simple. The meaning was profound. Jesus declared later, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." The bread and fish satisfied the body for a day, but Jesus himself would satisfy the soul for eternity. The miracle also teaches us about surrender. The boy gave up his small lunch, and in the hands of Jesus, it became more than enough. God doesn't require us to have much, only that we offer what we have, and He multiplies it. Offer what you have. Watch God multiply. The miracle was a sign, both immediate provision and a foreshadowing of deeper spiritual truth. It pointed hearts toward the bread of life and toward surrender. After witnessing the miracle, the people were astonished. Many began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." Some even wanted to make Jesus king by force, but Jesus withdrew to the mountain alone. For him, the miracle was not about fame or earthly power. It was about revealing the heart of God. He wanted them to see the source of true provision. The feeding of the 5,000 was not just about food. It was a sign pointing to a greater truth. When life leaves us feeling like we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish, too little time, too little money, too little strength, this miracle reminds us that in the hands of God, little becomes much. It was true on a Galilean hillside 2,000 years ago, and it remains true today. Surrender what you have, offer it with faith, and watch God multiply beyond your imagination. Trust, generosity, and divine abundance meet where faith meets a willing heart. The story is simple, but its meaning is eternal. When life leaves us feeling like we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish, too little time, too little money, too little strength, this miracle reminds us that in the hands of God, little becomes much. It was true on a Galilean hillside 2,000 years ago, and it remains true today. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.